So we're here at King Street East in Sherburne, or Sherburne and King Street East, depending how you orient it. And then I found out about this exhibition by this brother. So I better put my mask on again. I took it on because I thought this place was a bit further than it is. So it's close to Adelaide and Sherburne, right? And so it's here. Black Canary shop, right? And then so here is one of his images, which is really strong already. And it's called Sisters in the Courtyard. Scotia Bank contact. It's the whole thing. And I'm blocking on his name right now. And yeah, it's kind of cool how they did this as well. So it's like you're sitting it's a really good piece. Yeah, and I think you enter through here. Hey, look at who it is. I was inspired to come see your show from last night. Yeah, so I'm gonna go check it out.
Alright, take care.
Miss Delali, Cofie. That's Delali, by the way. I talked to him last night, and then I was inspired, and here he is. I love the curatorial statement.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm sorry. They were like all gone by the time I got here at noon. I think it was a really busy morning. So, exactly. So unfortunately, this is all we got.
Is the Wi-Fi been having issues lately?
I feel like it always says
Oh.
Is it not working for you?
I don't know.
Wow.
It keeps like disconnecting.
Yeah, I literally have to sign in every shift. So as long as that keeps popping up, that's good. If that stops popping up, I can try and like just turn it off and working it. So just let me know. But
Yeah.
sorry, my IT skills are limited, and I think it is like a bit of a thing.
Don't even worry.
I love how these are arranged too.
Thank you. Curated, funded, planned, everything by me.
By you.
Yeah.
That's how you're just a hustle, man. It's
Yeah, that's really what it is, you know?
get it happening until it gets supported.
Yeah. I got into the contact, the open call.
Oh, right.
So I had
Okay.
to, I guess, fund it myself, I guess.
Wow. Wow. So you didn't have a do you know about Band Gallery?
I've heard of Band
You
Gallery. I
should
know Cofie is having a show there right now.
Yeah, up at Meridian Art Center for
Yes.
North York, and it's they're the
Yes.
ones who are supporting it.
Yeah, he came by here I think last week, 2 weeks ago, and
Yeah.
we met. We got to chat. He's from Ghana as well.
Yeah,
so, yeah, he loved the work, and it was great to like share perspectives on like growing up in Ghana and documenting, capturing Ghanaian life and stuff. I
Yeah.
was there for his artist talk.
Okay,
I
great.
came like very late because of the weather.
Yeah. I couldn't make it. I had to be at my mom's, so yeah. But I went to the opening, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Good work. It's like this is good work. But I want you to get connect to bands so that because you could probably do some stuff with them at some point as well.
Yeah, maybe.
You know. And if you keep in touch with Kwesi, he can connect you as well. I love this way of just putting stuff around the space. This is great.
I really like. So I actually live upstairs.
Oh, you live upstairs?
Yeah. and
Okay.
I'm always at this cafe, like amazing establishment. This place, like the energy is just right, and it's a plant shop as well. And I was like, I would really love to see my work live with the plants.
Ah,
Live together. So.
And is the placement of each piece intentional, like where you have them? Yeah.
Definitely intentional. Like that being the lead image and having it space. When you have that image over there, I felt like the tones of that like really matched. Like,
Over
the
there,
green
right
space.
over here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow, that is stunning.
Thank you so much.
I love the color and the way you did that. Is there a particular saturation or way of developing this to
So
print it?
funny enough, this was shot in 2019. This was like a month or two into me shooting on film.
Right.
So these images are actually underexposed.
Mm.
So I had to do a lot in post to be able to like retrieve them, bring them back to life almost. And I love what was starting to happen with like the sky and the texture of it, and like the gradient over there, and the skin tones as well. So,
Yeah.
let's see if I can find the rest of the series.
And even the way he did it, sort of his skin tone with the tires.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
So basically this show was like a prelude to a book that I'm trying to release this year.
Yeah.
So all of this work will be in that.
Brilliant.
Thank you. This is the cook, not this one. I love this as well. This is their coach. He got to he like allowed me to be a fly on the wall for like their training session and whatnot.
Wow. And so when you talk about post-production, is it, because when I talk to Cofie, like a lot of this is not just point and shoot, it's also like the developing the image later on and playing with it.
like-
So you do the same.
Yeah, because I know he doesn't shoot on film.
Right.
He does digital, but yeah, especially like shooting on film, it's a very delicate process. Like I think a good number of these images, I didn't really have to do much beyond just getting the color right, or like if I was scanning it myself. There were 1 or 2 images where I had to crop it, where I felt like certain elements in the image were just not really adding anything.
Right.
Other than cropping, but sometimes too, like you have to be very intentional with how you develop the film if you're looking for some like stylistic effects and things like that.
No, this is brilliant.
Yeah, man.
Skateboard.
Skateboard, team,
Love that. Wow. Love that.
So yeah, in terms of sequencing,
Yeah.
definitely intentional. And you kind of go.
So the
like,
flow
here,
is coming here.
You know what I mean? You go through this image of these boys, which I feel like the gaze is so like striking. And, they seem so strong, like in spirit. You know what I mean? It goes back to what I wrote in my artist statement about the invincibility of childhood.
Yeah.
Which is something that is kind of repeats in like a number of the images. But so from this image, you kind of go up and you kind of follow, I guess, his like direction. You go up to this image over here. You go to this image over here, which I absolutely love. And I feel like I sequence it this way because it almost feels like an older version of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he seems just as strong in spirit, and it seems like it's about friendship as well, and the relationship between man and horse or man and animal.
And is this in Accra?
Yeah, this is
The Independence Square where the arch with the black star.
exactly. This is literally right there. I have another image. I have another image of the arch and the star in the back.
Yeah.
And one man doing like almost like a flip or handstand on his horse.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
The book is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm hearing. No, I mean, we did go to Ghana. I was there, and I was there, in that square.
When was that?
We went in, oh Lord, I was now a block on it. It's not 2014, 2015,
Oh, a while
2016,
ago.
something like that. Yeah, a friend of mine, every decade of his life, he plans a trip, so Ghana was one of our trips. Yeah, on the continent so far, I've been to Ghana, I've been to Senegal, I've been to Gambia, and
Senegal's
I've been to
nice.
Morocco. Yeah,
Morocco.
yeah.
Senegal was very,
Senegal
very
was,
nice.
was great. You've been there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went there like when I was in middle school. I went there for a soccer tournament.
See, like when people like us from the diaspora hear that, we say, oh, so I've grown up in Africa and be able to say, oh yeah, we go across the Caribbean or we come to North America, Europe, but to say that we could be on the continent.
Yeah. Actually, so there's one more image before we come.
Okay,
here.
oh, this one.
Those are my parents.
Oh my God. That is brilliant. And what does this say in terms of this? What would you say?
So I can't really remember what day it was taken, but I really think it was like, so my parents' birthdays are like a day apart. apart. And I think this is after my mother's birthday or something like that. I came into the living room and I just saw the light that was like coming from the window, just hitting her and like hitting behind her as well. And it was my dad looking at her and like, this is like their like, and it's so funny because this is how they sit. You know, this is, you know how like in like, I guess it might be similar in Caribbean homes and African homes and Ghanaian, Nigerian homes, like, you know, like the father has like his chair, you know.
Yes,
It's like,
yeah.
this is really how they sit, like, you know, every time. And like coming in and just seeing like, it's just another day, but the way the light was hitting made me feel like this needed to be like immortalized,
Right.
captured in that.
Right.
And I love like my little sister's legs just dangling in the corner.
Oh, that's your sister's legs.
Yeah. It adds that just extra bit of like, what's that word, candidness.
Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant. Did I miss one over here though?
This one, I guess maybe this one too. I think.
Oh no, I did. I did
Yeah,
see
you
this
saw
one.
that.
Yeah. This is just the legs though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so this is called Portrait of a Fisherman.
Okay.
And I wanted to have some images that felt more like a break, like a pause. And I love the ambiguity of this image, and I felt like titling it Portrait of a Fisherman caused you to like pause and think like, what is he really trying to say? And I wanted to like allude to place. I guess in that you kind of have like the debris and like you have this figure which I know to be a boat, but it'd be really interesting to see what people think it is.
I thought it was like a wall behind it, but wow. And the Adidas brand slides. Great.
Yeah.
Pom in July. Do you have anything to say about this one? Like this image? Prom in July. What about this one?
So Prom is like just outside. It's my good friend Manny.
Oh, Manny.
This is it's like maybe like an hour outside of the city where we live. And my dad is building like a retreat center there, which is really like faith focused, so you can kind of go and like just get away from like life and everything. And we went like one weekend with like a family friend, and we just went to the beach side in summer, which is pretty normal for us. And I just loved like the movement that was happening here. You know what I mean? And the light that was hitting at the same time. It felt very cinematic. I just loved that relationship. I mean, I hope that's his child. I don't know. It's not some random child. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, I think if you're playing in a healthy with a random child, that also sets up a black love. You
It
know,
does,
the
it does
love of
too.
community, and
It does.
you know, because I know when I was growing up as a kid, and I grew up in Jamaica, and you know, when you left your house, basically anybody's your parent, right?
Yeah,
Anybody
I
could
guess so,
discipline. Like if
yeah.
you come home and say, "So and so talk to me," I'd say, "Well, what did they talk to you about?" Well, you know, and they come, they walk it out. What did they do to you? And then you get another hit beating because it's like, of course they beat you because you're being rude or inappropriate, you know. Or just somebody just treating you nicely, like, you know, playing with you or teasing or engaging with you. It's great. Oh, and more friends. I love it.
I think I know her.
You know her?
Yeah, I know her.
Well, you're starting now. You got to finish with me now. Tell me, walk me through.
We're almost
Hey,
there.
brother.
We're almost there. Let's go from here.
Oh, yeah, you tell me, right? Yeah.
Yes. So his name is Delali. Her name is Delali. His name is Halali.
Halali.
Yeah, and I guess at this point I can say like he's a frequent like collaborator of mine. He was the guy who was in those images yesterday. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So this was a year later, and this is called Osu Castle.
Yeah, no, I remember just going to Osu.
Yes. Sort
So
of.
there's a castle there.
Yeah, there
That
is.
neighborhood.
There's a very old castle there, and I was sort of
Didn't
still
know
like thinking on the idea of like land reclamation, and I really wanted to have like boys just being natural and being at peace, just doing their thing in their essence outside of the castle. So like there are more images where it's like, so where they're standing, the castle is probably like over there,
Right.
just towering.
Right.
And I really love like I just told them to sort of come as themselves. I wanted it to be a fashion shoot, yes, but very natural, not overly posed and
Right.
almost documentary style in a way. And I love these images because they seem like very strong, right? But not like strong and like what we're used to seeing in like typical black masculinity is presented. But again, like I said before about those boys, strong in spirit, like their essence is kind of what is showing here.
So it's not a hyper masculine. It's just like
Exactly.
being, right?
It's being.
It's all giving people different ideas of manhood and masculinity and what it can look like. Or just being as a human being.
Exactly,
Period.
exactly. And like I had mentioned, like that's one of like the topics or like motifs that I'm exploring. It's like, from boyhood to manhood, and like in between, and like just how beautiful that can seem.
Yeah.
Just, like, young boys. So.
Well, it's to rescue our sense of our complete humanity rather than having to feel ourselves having to be
Exactly.
just hard and not be embracing all of what it means to be just human. So we may sometimes be sad or hurt or all the things that's supposed to be weak.
Yes.
But just what it means to be a fully human being and express that with people around
all
us.
those things,
Right?
And like I noticed, like media really plays a huge role in dictating how we view ourselves, like what we think of ourselves as human beings. So why don't we start to take control of that and
Absolutely.
share our own stories? In that sense, I guess these are like when I take pictures of like the young boys or like teenagers, like almost like young men or like older men, I sort of view it as like self-portraits in a way.
Oh, for you, like you're telling your own story through these kinds of images. Great.
Exactly. That's pretty much how I see it.
And it's we're telling a story about your own sense of manhood and masculinity and humanity and humanness.
And the growing change in my perspective of that. So,
Yeah, it's great. And then this one, this could be a schoolhouse in Jamaica. Never mind, the countryside.
Schoolgirl in the clouds.
Exactly. No, because where I come from is in the mountains, far from the coast. So
This was in the
this
mountains.
is what it's like. Yeah.
My dad and I went on a little drive. Like we just wanted to, like he wanted to show me the mountains and whatnot. And like we stopped on the way back. Wanted to talk to these woodworkers.
Right.
And I got out of the car. He was trying to buy like some wood and stuff. I looked across the street and I just see this little girl skipping. And like something about this moment seems so like sublime, magnificent, like the intensity of like the clouds and everything, and how like regardless of all that's going on, it's sort of this little figure and her graceful movement that arrests your attention, and the contrast of like the yellow. It's almost like someone was telling me like it's so like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like someone's playing a joke on me. Like how can all this like be happening so naturally but be so perfect? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Beautiful. And then this is the lead image that was on the window.
Outside, yeah. These are my sisters.
Oh.
Yeah. Sunday afternoon, sisters in the courtyard. This is a Sunday like after church.
Right.
Family comes back. We're still in our Sunday best and everything, and they're playing. And I really love the colors that are like going on. And like I recently started this project that is called Sunday Best.
Right.
Well, not recently, a while ago. I just haven't worked on it in a little while. But it's just documenting Ghanaian life on Sundays and traditions and like how we present ourselves on Sundays and everything that comes in with that. So I've decided to pay a lot more attention to my life on Sundays. This was just like a very beautiful moment. My sisters and between sisters, and that's also like something I've been thinking about, like, the relationships of like sisterhood, and like obviously that's not a story that I can just like get up and tell. Like there needs to be some authenticity to it. So I'm not trying to approach this from a place of like telling that story, but rather sharing what it looks like from my perspective or from the outside looking. This is like sisterhood looks like a very nice thing because she is my sister, like blood sister. She's like a foster sister almost. Yeah, her family lives up in the north of Ghana.
Right.
So she just stays with us and goes to school and like so it's basically my sister. It makes perfect sense to call her my sister. So like, and they're the same age, funny enough, and almost like the same height. So it's so nice to see.
Right.
It's so nice to see that relationship like blossom.
Yeah, well, it makes me think you're playing with the whole idea of sisterhood, which black women share in common anyway, just because of the histories that we've lived. But also this idea, at least from the diaspora, those of the diaspora who don't always know our roots and connections. So everybody is our sister and brother and family, right? Because I don't know. I mean, my people may have descendants that connected to your family.
Maybe.
I don't know.
To be honest, maybe.
When we do our DNAs and you hear, Ghana or whatever, you think, well, now if we really explore it, who could we be related to?
Yeah.
Potentially, right? So this idea of family and community, a strong theme to work with.
Thank you. So like the project, this is a prelude for like a book that I'm
Yeah,
releasing this
yeah.
year. Hopefully, you know, God willing, I'm trying to figure that out. It's like 110 images or so. Still trying to cut down. But it's very holistic, like being like a portrait of my life and a portrait of Ghana. It includes, like I've said, like family, peace, play, candid moments that speak of like self-expression and whatnot, moments that more like concise, like about like, you know, my perspective of like boys to men and all that. So it's pretty holistic project.
Well, to complete this, you've got to take me back to the very first image,
The first
so you can talk me
sure.
through, so you can walk me through that. Hi. Yeah, this one, because I thought it's the lead image. Right?
Yes, it is. This is the boy in his tree. This was like after an 8-hour drive out of the city. We went on a 16-hour road trip that day back and forth. My dad was trying to get like a monkey for the sanctuary that he's building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's trying to have like a garden in there as well, where animals can be free and like people can come and like, you know, just like enjoying that like really relationship and whatnot. But we were in that town. It's pretty rural. It's like it's in the heart of Ghana, right in the center. And like they were kind of like talking over here. They were like having a conversation, and then I look up and I see like the boy just like, sitting in the tree, and I call it his tree because of how powerful that piece he looks over there in the little like journal entry that I wrote over there. I see how like it's selfish to say, but like within reason we can find ownership or we can find peace. And in that sense, like I'm like, yeah, this is really his tree right now. And like everything about this just makes me think about how strong, like how powerful, like feeling invincible as a child really is. So.
But I love the word. When I heard you say history, I heard history.
Oh.
So I love that play with words, right? So, and that whole thing about how he owns that place and space in time, and also his comfort of how he leans on there.
Exactly.
This is something he does regularly.
Exactly.
It's his place.
Exactly.
It's like when we find a home place.
Exactly.
And all of it, how we occupy it. And I love how he's almost
mirroring the form of like
but also he's like a shadow too. It's like he could not be there. It's like it could be like a
vision, like a dream.
Exactly,
like,
right? You know, it's funny. I was just listening on my Instagram to a account I follow, and it's Sun Ra. He's this guy who's like an Afrofuturist from back in the day, musician, but very much sort of like, you know, I'm trying to think of the words that capture it, but sort of super, it's not coming to me. But anyway, but one of the things that he says to these groups of kids in his class, talking to them, and they say to him, because he always dresses in like wild clothing and so on, and so they say to him, "Oh, you don't seem real," and he says, "Because I'm not." And then they go, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Well, you aren't real either, because the system you live in doesn't even recognize us, doesn't see you, doesn't acknowledge you. Look around you, you don't see yourself reflected anywhere." So it's like we're all myths.
Wow.
And so when I look at this, I love the way, in fact, he's like the shadow in the tree, in this place that is actually his. But because I know colonization was also in Africa, right? And there's a way in which invisibility and, you know, reducing us to less than or not. And there's a way that I think there's a lot of that being said. And that's what I bring to the image.
I love that. No, I love that interpretation. Like that's amazing, actually. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna note that down and like think about that. Like, it's so nice to see what people can draw from, like based on their experiences, you know, and like perceptions of life. It's interesting to see what people can draw from like work like this. And I showed this to someone, and they were like, "Oh," like someone who was Nigerian, like, "Oh, this could be from like Nigeria." He was like, "Oh, is this in Jamaica?"
Yeah, absolutely.
This is in Ghana. It's like,
it's like an anthropical and the way the houses are built, and you could tell there's some color, something probably going on if it was in color, the landscape, and all of us climbing trees as kids. Beautiful. Well, thanks for talking to me and taking me through it.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, of
Can I
course.
take a quick picture of you?
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you.
How do I want?
After seeing you yesterday, let me make sure the light is good. Bitch.
Oh, yeah,
Here's good.
Right.
Yeah. Alright, so take a quick picture. Fantastic.
You want to take the mask off so you can at least see who I am?
Yes. Quick video. Say hi.
Oh yeah, no, just great show. Like it was great meeting you, and I was impressed by what you were saying about your show last night. So of course, I went looking on Instagram and I saw some of the opening images, and I said, "Oh, I gotta come down and check it out." So and then having you here is a bonus because you walked me through it, explain it, and then I could tell you my interpretation because. As you said, with hearing somebody else's version of your work, over the years, what a lot of my artist friends have always said is once you create the work, it belongs to the world. So you might create it with an idea, but it's always good to have other people add things to it because it makes your work have even more powerful meaning. Because we all bring different histories. You bring history to how you create it, people bring history to how they see it. Right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, man.
Thank you. That was such a lovely surprise. Like I was talking to them, I walked them through. I was like, wait, I saw this guy last night. And he really pulled up today. That was so nice.
Yeah, so maybe I'll stop this.